Hey and welcome back, I'm Rob aka ShipDriver71 and today we will be approaching and landing at Salt Lake City International Airport in Salt Lake City, Utah, which is one of Delta's hubs. That lake off to the right is Utah Lake and not Great Salt Lake. If we were doing a 16 left or 16 right approach, we most certainly would get much better views of Great Salt Lake. And now we're making the final turn of the star at Fairfield to proceed to the entry of the ILS 34 left approach. This airport is made by Pacific Island Simulations, or PacSim for short. This is the outfit that made the more recent Reno Tahoe Airport. Like many of their recent sims, PacSim goes way beyond the airport fence, and in this case they have a huge photoreal scenery coverage area, as well as custom buildings downtown and on the approaches. In this case, we are doing an ILS approach on runway 34 left, and the photoreal coverage extends almost to the first point of the approach, Pewter, which is just over 20 miles from the airport. We start out over regular FTX Global territory, and looking up ahead you can indeed see the boundary where the photoreal starts, although it still is a pretty good transition. They do have winter photoreal textures as well, but I find that these non-winter textures to be more compelling, although weather and therefore lighting conditions may have had something to do with that. As with all PacSim airports, performance is very good. This allows me to run much higher traffic settings in Ultimate Traffic Live than I would at other major airports. I will note that while setting Ultimate Traffic Live to 40% would really pack some other airports like those from the 3Fs, FS Dream Team, Flightbeam, and Fly Tampa, that will result in fairly light traffic here, so I usually will have it cranked to 100%. Because the airport is relatively light on frames, that works out well. Here I'm flying the CaptainSim 757. I was somewhat disappointed that Quality Wings hasn't yet come out with a V4 version of their 757, which I had used for years and had actually made several repaints for. Then again, they haven't even put out a P3D version of the 787 yet either. So I got the CaptainSim to try it out. Now, one downside to the CaptainSim is the fact that it is only the Pratt & Whitney powered 752 as yet, and when further variants come out, they will be payware upgrades, unlike Quality Wings, which, kind of like the iFly 737NG, gives you all variants in one package. I am especially looking forward to the freighter version though, so that I will have a UPS aircraft to fly into Louisville when I get that airport. Now, the autopilot is not as smart and smooth as the 737NG or 777 autopilots, although that may actually reflect real-world experience. And getting it to lock onto the LNAV path does require some finessing. Also, the path of the built after takeoff, it couldn't actually follow it, so I had to manually get it back on track. VNAV was fairly finicky as well, although it did lock onto the ILS very nicely. I was extremely light for this flight, which is why the VREF speeds were so low. It was a bit of a mental adjustment to fly that slow. I don't think real-world air traffic controllers would particularly appreciate those approach speeds, which is why I delayed getting speed down until well into the approach. This was my first landing in the CaptainSim 757, so I'm sure there are things I forgot, especially not having the FS2 crew crutch of a flight officer available. Hand flying wasn't bad though, and in a lot of ways, systems modeling and performance reminded me of the TFDI 717, with several MCU functions for display only, among other things. And here we are flying over South Valley Regional Airport, which is almost on the flight path into KSLC. Now, getting back to the airport, I find that in terms of textures, visual appeal, etc., this isn't really in the same category as the 3Fs, but performance-wise, despite significant gains from those developers transitioning to V4, it beats the pants off, and there are some other airport developers, whose names I won't mention here right now, who indeed have lower quality textures and worse performance than anything from PacSim, who are indeed one of my favorite airport developers. Because of those performance benefits, I can not only run more AI traffic, which is a huge boost to immersion, but I can run other eye candy like cloud shadows as well. So I highly recommend the KSLC scenery, or anything from PacSim for that matter, because they strike a good balance. Those specular highlights on the flaps are very good here. It actually looks like metal. You can also see the central business district off to the east. And forming the horizon off to the northwest is the Great Salt Lake.
Approaching. 3, 4, left.
Minimums.
Light slope. Light slope. Light slope. Light slope. Light slope. Light slope. Light slope.
100.
Light slope. Light slope.
50.
Light slope.
40. 30. 20. 10.
Well, as we take a look at the airport after getting on the ground, thanks for watching, and I hope you like what you saw. If so, please give it a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and maybe even click that little notification bell icon as well. See you next time, and fly Navy!